Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my podcast, Zoe Dawn at Dusk. First of all, thank you so much for watching today's episode. I do love you with my whole heart if you are watching. My last episode was about my birthday, so obviously I had an amazing birthday, honestly. It was such a good day. I spent it with all my loved ones and had so much fun. We rented out a private room. We were going to do the whole upstairs, but we ended up just renting out the downstairs instead. 10 times better. Oh my gosh. But it was so much fun, and I went paddleboarding. Didn't get sunburnt, thank goodness. And then ended up going to Chubby Fish for dinner. Oh my god. I felt so loved, and I'm just so grateful. So thank you all. As you can tell, my stepmom surprised me, and she put balloons in my room. I'm not taking those bitches down till they deflate, so deal with it. Second of all, as you also notice, my flowers that my handsome boyfriend got me, they're a little sad now. But they were beautiful on my birthday. They were beautiful, and they literally just got sad today, and I'm pissed right when I was about to film with them, but still wanted them to be in it because, dude, they smell so good. And lilies and roses are my favorite combo for flowers, so yeah. Anyway, I had a pretty important, today, there's something happened at work, so cross your fingers that I get a promotion. Literally would be awesome. Gonna miss all my current work besties, and it's hard for me to leave my friends and such, but you know, if it means bettering myself, then it's fine, and they should stay my friends. If not, they're not my friends, period. Anyway, yeah, I had such a good birthday. That happened. I start school next week. I'm so stressed. It's my last week with those school. No, I lied. I don't. I start next week, the 18th. Yeah. Anyway, let's kind of get into my favorite things. Normally I do my favorite things, but I want to do my favorite presents I got. So, really random. Like, these aren't these are probably definitely my favorite things that I got. I got other things, and I'm still going to get other things, so I'm sorry if I didn't put yours in here, but these are just some things that meant a lot to me. So first of all, I got this cute little bag from my friends. I'm not gonna lie, it's velvet, and velvet's very iffy for me, but I need to grow the fuck up and like velvet. So it's beautiful. It's green. It has flowers on it. It's my cute little makeup bag. I'm using it as my makeup bag for now. I might change it to my pencil bag for school, but also I do school right there, and I have a little bucket for it already. So I think I'm just gonna use this for my makeup. It's honestly really nice when I go to work just to have all my makeup in here and throw it in bag to bag. So yeah, I love her. Very thoughtful. Pink. Love pink. I love green too. I love plants. So it's just nice, So, yeah. Anyway, and then my stepmom got me one of those viral Winnie the Pooh things because I don't need no more Labubu's, but these are a lot easier to get right now. And oh my god, it's the sheep. I honestly, she's sleeping. She's gonna hang out with my Labubu's. They're gonna be besties. I love her. Then for my boyfriend, I got the cutest Coach wallet. Here, I'll show you. Can you see my cards? It folds so each of them kind of come out individually. So that's kind of cool. It's pink. I literally love this so much. I love this color. It's literally almost the same. No, it's not. It's the same color as my microphone. There we go. It actually is. Oh my god. Yeah. Love pink. So he also got me new charms for my bracelet. You can't really see it, but he got me a pink one, and then he got me a heart that says I love you more than anything. So yeah. Anyway. Those are my favorite things right now. That's how my week is going and how it is going. So today I wanted to talk about anxiety. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about my experience, what it is, and how I deal with it. So let's start, as always, with the Google definition of anxiety. Y'all, I hate AI because that's what comes up I hate the AI overview. Anyway, Anxiety is a feeling of unease, worry, or fear, often characterized by physical symptoms like rapid heartbeat and sweating. It is a normal human emotion that can be a healthy response to stress, but it becomes an anxiety disorder when it's persistent, excessive, and interferes with daily life. So anxiety is normal, and just because you have anxiety in a moment doesn't also mean you're diagnosed with anxiety. And then there's some people that get anxiety in normal human moments, like for job interviews, for flying, stuff like that. But then there's people that just get it over everything. And mental health is a weird, weird thing, and I'm so glad that it's starting to be studied and actually looked at and like seen as important, because again, there's so many different, like, everyone experiences it differently. Every single person I know has experienced anxiety differently. And it's nice to just like not feel a little bit more normal. It's nice when people talk about anxiety, at least around me, because sometimes me personally, I feel fucking insane with how much anxiety and what kind of anxiety I have, and I think I'm fucking a little nuts. So it's nice to hear other people have it like me. So yeah. But again, like, everyone has it. Some people get it at different points in their lives. Some people have it their entire life. Some people, I'm sure, never had. I don't think there's, maybe, you never know. Maybe there's people who have never had anxiety before. And yeah, so I kind of wanted to start, like, honestly, like, I've had anxiety for as long as I remember. There was things when I was a kid that I would just get really bad anxiety over for no reason. So, oops, I pressed a button. Anyway, so one of the, okay, let me make sure. Okay. So, as like the furthest back I can remember is I remember being a kid, and I'd get things like butterflies in my stomach feeling, and I'd get like really nervous, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, like I don't know, like it felt like I needed to stop what I was doing, and I was convinced that I was going to die." Like if we were about to go outside and I got that feeling, I was like, "Oh my god, like no, we can't go outside. Like I can't go to school today." And it'd be weird things like, this sounds so stupid, but when I was a kid, if I got that feeling before I went to school, I would cry and I wouldn't go to school because I was convinced that there was going to be a school shooting. Or just random things. Like I was so scared. Like when I was a kid, I got really bad anxiety about dying and the idea of death, the biggest things, and like being hurt. As I got older, like those are probably like when I first started having it, like where like the nervousness in my stomach. But it felt so strong when I was a kid. Like I remember feeling as like I can still feel it, and it makes me like ugh. Like I hated that feeling. I still get it. Don't get me wrong. But when you're a kid, it felt so much more different when I first started getting it when I was a kid. Actually, honestly, I strongly believe that mental health is generational. It comes like it is like tossed like down from generation to generation, and like people look at it as like water. Like for example, like let's say you have like let's just say start with 4 cups. You, your mom, your grandma, your great grandma. Your great grandma had trauma, so she's gonna pour all that into your grandma. Your grandma has trauma and then is going to make other trauma for herself. She's going to pour that all into your mom. Your mom is going to have both your great grandma's and your grandma's trauma and her own, and she's going to pass it down to you. It's constant until someone stops it and heals from it. And mental health is so new that I feel like people aren't, like, it's now just starting for people to kind of heal from it. And I genuinely think that, don't get me wrong, like, like, I feel like no matter what, you are going to fuck up your kids a little bit. It's inevitable. And so like me saying that, like, yes, like my mom had anxiety of generations and generations and so much other shit of other generations, but like my mom also has healed from so much. Both of my parents have gone through things that are unimaginable to me, and they healed from it, so I didn't have to. And like some of it did happen a little later in my life, but I'm still proud of both of my parents so much because again, they've been through some shit and they healed from it so I could be a better me. And don't get me wrong, like there's some stuff they didn't heal from, and there's stuff that happened to me in my life that caused me to have it. And So me saying all this isn't like to bash any of my family, because everyone's healed from their own shit. But it is proven that an average high school, honestly, this was like 4 or 5 years ago when I found this, so I don't know if it's worse, but an average psych patient, and I think the 60s, is comparable to a average high school teenager now. And it's not like, again, I do think that there's other factors, and I'll talk about that in a second, that cause anxiety too. But again, I think the biggest thing is generational trauma. The biggest thing. And anyone who knows me knows I don't want kids, at least not for a while. And the biggest reason is because I need to heal so much more. So much more. The reason why I kind of talked about that is because it's so, love you, everyone, but my family all has anxiety. It's so obvious. And so, like, my dad and my mom, like, they passed that down to me. So as a baby, I would use my upper lip, I would pick at it. I'd bite it. Well, I guess as a baby I didn't have teeth, but I like use my fingers, and I'd peel all the skin. Like, I'd peel skin off my lips, and I still do that. And I try to catch myself, but that is a symptom of anxiety, and I did it literally since I was a kid. And, like, my mom thought it was the cutest thing, which, I mean, I get, but it's also like, no, that was anxiety, Mom. So, yeah, but don't get me wrong, again, there's so many other things that contribute to anxiety. Social media. Social media, I think, is the biggest factor of anxiety, because you see what other people do on a day-to-day, and everyone puts on a front. No one shows the truth about what's actually happening to them. I mean, like, some people are, but, like, still, people still don't show their worst moments, at least not while they're happening, especially. And seeing stuff like everyone's best moments all the time, but they make it seem like it's their normal day, it is exhausting to see. So you start comparing yourself, and you start getting anxious of, like, why am I not doing enough? Why am I not rich? Why am I not skinny? Why don't I have these friends? Why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? When, like, I don't think as humans we were meant to consume everything that we consume. We weren't supposed to see all of these. Like, traveling is one thing, seeing different cultures is one thing, but I don't think we were meant to consume as much as we do right now. Think about it. Yeah, we're busy, and, like, when you go in public, like, you see a lot of people. Let's say you go to the mall, and you go to a restaurant, and you go here and there, like, you're gonna see people. But think about, as you scroll, all of those people that you're seeing into their life. You're not meant to see that. I don't think we're meant to see that. But it happened, and we're here, and now we have to deal with it. But I do think that it is such a huge factor, and I do think that everyone needs to limit their screen time, because then you get so caught up in why you're not doing enough, and then you can also get caught up in trying to make this fake persona that you are not. And so I think social media is one of the biggest, like, again, social media could be a beautiful thing. You can learn a lot, you can meet a lot of people, you can get, but honestly, I think it's worse than good. It's, and my entire life I've wanted to be an influencer. I wanted to be on social media, but I was too scared that I wouldn't be enough. And then now I'm posting, and I'm like, damn, if little 6th grade Zoe posted, I'd be famous, I'd be fucking, but I didn't, and I will still. But, so, like, I know it's kind of hypocritical for me to say, because anyone who knows me knows how chronically online I am, and I'm, like, again, I have anxiety, and I do think that's a big reason why. Anyway, the second thing is sleep. I think sleep is a huge, like, again, probably second. I think it's generational trauma, then social media, then sleep. I think you're supposed to, dude, fuck sleeping 8 hours. That's not how long you're supposed to sleep. Guys, I haven't been to school in forever. Hold on. I think a REM cycle is 1.5 hours. How long? Jeez. How? "90 minutes. Yep, 1.5 hours. So it's impossible to sleep 8 hours and feel rested. I think you should sleep, 7.5 or 9? to like get like a REM cycle and actually feel rested. But everyone's different. There's some people that thrive on 6 hours. There's some people that do thrive on 8. There's some people that do thrive on so there's some people that thrive on 9 hours. There's some people that thrive on 6. There's some people that thrive on 5. A lot of older people, they only sleep on 3 or 4 hours. But I think not having a consistent schedule, so like not even not sleeping enough, but not having a consistent schedule will fuck with your anxiety bad. And again, like, and that could be a whole nother episode on its own, but your sleep is important. Your body needs to know when it can relax. Like, your body needs time to kind of, like, you need routine. You are an animal. You need routine. And when you're not getting it, it fucks with you. And like, it's always so random and unexpected. So that's kind of where that anxiety starts to come in. Number 4, your diet. Your diet is contributing to your anxiety. Honestly, most people don't eat breakfast. They sometimes eat lunch and they eat dinner. And they eat so many snacks and binge at night. But you know the first thing that people do when they wake up? Caffeine. Coffee, energy drinks, tea, matcha, chai. You are setting your entire day up for failure. The first thing you're going to put in your body on an empty stomach, it's going to give you anxiety. You're going to have your entire day with anxiety. And think about it. Most people start their day with caffeine. They don't eat until maybe lunch. Then they eat and they crash. And they're like, oh, eating makes me sleep. No, it doesn't. You're eating the wrong foods. And then guess what they do? They drink more caffeine. And then when people do eat, you eat processed food. You eat refined sugars. You don't eat enough B12. Again, you are setting yourself up for failure. And again, I'm not saying like bad, but like, because I do the same shit. And this is something that I've come to realization the last few months. And so it is hard, but your diet is making you worse. When you're eating all these things, it's not giving your brain and your body what it needs. And it just, I don't know, it just makes your anxiety worse, you know? I think, and then obviously stress, there's a lot of other things, but those are the main things that will give you anxiety. I lied. One more big one. Drugs, nicotine, alcohol, weed will fuck with your anxiety. Because again, like, your body, like, and I'm not saying like, oh, don't, because like, it's normal. Like, I smoke weed, I drink, I don't do anything else, but like, it's normal. Like, a lot of people do mushrooms, a lot of people do coke. It's crazy, but it's making your anxiety worse because it's putting you at these different stages that aren't normal. And like drinking, for example, yeah, you're gonna have a great night, you're gonna feel good, but the next morning you're gonna feel like shit, and your anxiety is gonna come back twice as hard because now you have to process last night on top of what you're already feeling. When you smoke, it puts you in such a calm state that when you get out of it, it does help your anxiety. Don't get me wrong, weed is there to help some people, but there is a chance that it can just, like, once your high comes down, you get all the anxiety back. And then it's the same when you do drugs. Like, there's like these receptors in your brain, and I don't know what it's called, but I need to read a book. But it's like it just gives you such a high that when you come down, it's so hard that you need those drugs again, or you get just anxious and depressed. So I think those are the biggest things that can cause anxiety. Sorry. But those are the biggest things that can cause anxiety. And obviously there's so many far more, few in between. And each person is so different. But like I said, those were some of my first, like, those are the things that can cause it. Some of my first experiences, like, those were my first 2 ones. But then it was almost 4 years ago now, I started taking the birth control pill, and oh my God, like I have never felt so like just anxious and scared, and I don't know, but I there was a few times, and honestly, like when I started this for a week straight, I had a panic attack. But the first night it happened, I was so scared. And I like it was a small thing, and like I've been through so much therapy since this that I can find triggers. I can kind of calm myself down, and like I know why it's happening, and I'm able to do things that help me not get in it so bad. And I back then I didn't know what was happening. I was so scared. And when you have anxiety attacks, you go into fight or flight mode, and your body really thinks that like you're about to die. It shuts down and all common sense goes out the window. That's the best thing to know about anxiety, because you feel so stupid when you kind of like come down from it, but in the moment like it's so scary, and you don't know what's going on. So this first panic attack that I had, it kind of got that same feeling in my stomach I was telling you guys about earlier, and it was a trigger. Like something happened. Like I thought of like I kept thinking, like I started small. Like I think, dude, I don't even remember what the panic attack was about. It was about something so fucking stupid. But then I started thinking about all of these other things, and I started getting nervous, and I started getting scared, and I just I couldn't breathe. I started like shaking so bad. I couldn't breathe. I was hyperventilating. I was crying. And for me, with my anxiety and panic attacks comes suicidal idealization. I would never fully go and do something, but when I haven't had this happen since I went to therapy last time. I promise, guys, I'm good. But when this first happened, I was so scared. I just wanted to like it just to stop. Like I didn't want to deal with, like I literally, like I wouldn't have done anything, but I was thinking of ways I could do it, and I was like starting to come up with a plan, and I I started thinking I wouldn't be mad if I didn't wake up. If this genuinely killed me, I wouldn't be mad. And I literally just I could not eat. Like I was shaking. Oh my gosh, it was so bad, and I didn't know what was happening. So I finally, after like an hour straight of hyperventilating, I called the Colorado Mental Health Crisis Line, and they helped me. They did help me. Oh my God. And then after this, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep for a week. That was the worst I've ever had. It was that first time. But then I just kept having them like throughout, like to the point where I'd be like kind of freak out. Like it got pretty bad still. Like don't get me wrong. But that one was so scary because I didn't know what was happening. But then the second time I was like, okay, like this happened before. And then there was a few other times. Then there was one last time it happened in the shower. I was probably in that shower for at least 3 hours. It happened 5 minutes in, and I just started sitting bawling. And usually, water helps when stuff like this happens. But it just wasn't helping me. I was in there, I could not breathe. Oh my God, it was so scary. And I just broke down, and it just, again, I couldn't breathe. And then the steam, like, wasn't helping. It made me feel like I was choking on, like, you know. But I also had a really bad work life at this point. Work life? Yeah. And it made it worse. My manager wasn't the nicest to me when I was going through all this. And again, which I mean, I get, like, you're a grown adult, but it was also literally Starbucks. And it wasn't that serious. But I literally, like, I was not okay. I didn't want, like, I couldn't talk to anyone. I was shaking. I just didn't want, I just couldn't do it. And then I finally got therapy. This is why I reached out to therapy, and I found my favorite therapist I ever had, but she moved and I missed her. But she helped me a lot. I'll talk about her in a minute, but so I went to therapy. I learned all these tools, And then my dumbass fucked up again. I honestly don't think... I think I had one panic attack since that happened. But, dude, it was never as bad because I learned all these skills that I can calm myself down with. But then I fucked up. I got the hormonal IUD. And it ruined me again. Same thing. Again, it hasn't been as bad. But there's been a few times. So, one, the first time it happened, I left my bracelet at work. But I didn't know if I left it at work or if I lost it. So I started bawling, and then I started kind of going down a spiral, and then I started listening to a lot of sad music, and it makes you worse. And I've said this before, and I'll say this again. Music music can make or break it when shit, like, it's there because it helps comfort you, but when in moments like this, it can make it so much worse. So I was listening to sad music, and I've realized I need to ask for help. And then my boyfriend came over and he helped snap me out of it. But when I realized that my anxiety, like when it's getting to the level that it's about to get bad, I think of one specific memory and it's like a trigger for me. And it just causes me to fucking lose it. And I've noticed that every time I have a panic attack, this is the last thing I think about before I start freaking out. And it's weird because I've gone to therapy before and I healed from it, but this is the only time it pops up for me. So yeah. I think I could talk about anxiety for days and days. Some other things that I've noticed that I do with anxiety is I over question everything. This is like kind of what has like my anxiety is symptoms of, or are symptoms of, because I have anxiety, these things happen. So it's hard for me to make decisions on my own. I always ask people for help, like, oh my god, like, what dress should I buy? Like, what should be my thumbnail for my YouTube video? Which I've been trying really hard to just trust my opinion more, because no offense, but I think my opinion's better than yours, because it's my opinion, you know? So I've been trying to force myself to, but that is something that I do. I also have a really hard time making friendships and feeling confident in my friendships and my relationships, because I'm never sure about anything. I've never once been like, I'm 100% sure. Because I'm always like, oh, but what if I'm not supposed to be right here right now? What if this job isn't for me? What if I should be doing something? No. And that is something of my friendships. Every single one of my friends can tell you that there has been times where I have kind of just gone MIA for a minute, because I'm like, I don't know, are they a good friend to me? Should they be my friend? And it's something that I'm currently dealing with, but that's a big one for me. And I also push people away. I always push people away when I get like this. I never want to talk to anyone. I'm done. And then the last thing that this affects is my brain. As stupid as that sounds, there's two more. I get two weird symptoms that people probably understand. I get really bad disassociation. So when I was having my panic attacks the first time, my therapist had me take pictures of times that I was disassociating bad, because I didn't feel real for a week. I look back at those pictures. One of them's a fork at Olive Garden, and one of them's a pumpkin bread from Starbucks. And I just felt so, I felt like this, I literally felt like I was looking out at myself. I felt like I was up here watching myself do something, controlling myself. It was the weirdest fucking feeling, and I felt that for a week too. And then I also get I guess I call it, my brain gets fuzzy. So, I just can't concentrate. I can't remember anything. I can't just, it's feels like there's static in my brain. I'm not able to absorb anything. I'm not able to, actually try. And It's weird. It's the weirdest fucking feeling. But if I tell you that I feel like my brain's fuzzy, you'll understand if you felt it. So, yeah. Anyway, like I said, I could talk about anxiety for hours, but to kind of wrap it up, some things that I do, again, things that I've done to help my anxiety, just random little things that might help you. My first therapist that just moved, loved her to death, but she helped me a lot. When I worked at Starbucks, she taught me to put ice in my hands. So whenever I was on the board, because again, my job caused me a lot of anxiety. I wasn't happy, and I'm so glad I left. Anyway, I used to put ice cubes in my hand, and it just like would shock you. Like when you'd start getting overwhelmed, you're like, oh my god, that's cold, and that's all you can think about, and it helps kind of snap you back. Heat works a lot. I have 2 fish tanks now. I have 4 puffer fishes. They're my babies. They don't have names, I know. And then I have my beta fish Cookie. And then I also actually have a turtle. His name is Turtle. But they all of the tanks make bubbles. So my therapist started by telling me to pour a soda into a cup and watch the bubbles. Focusing on the bubbles kind of helps you quiet your mind. So that's why I got the fish tanks. When I start to get there, I look at all the bubbles in all my tanks, and it helps me a lot. Anyone who knows me knows I love the water. I love the ocean. It calms me, but that helps me because it's movement in the water. It's not still water. So like it kind of helps like draw my attention, and I pay attention to the bubbles. Another thing that she helped me focus on, like I told you guys, I had that really bad panic attack in the shower. I had another one in the shower after I talked to her. And I have like one of those scalp brushes, like to, but what you do is you grab an object and you focus on it. You fully wrap your hand around it, and you look at it, like you actually pay attention to the object. Like his nose is black. He's yellow. He has blush on both of his cheeks. The left one is a little bit lower than the right. It is very fuzzy and soft. Like you, at least 5 things about the item, but you hold it and you focus on it, and it can help you too. The last thing that I think, obviously ask for help, go to therapy. Your therapists are there for you, and I feel like healing is a never ending journey. But the last thing that this specific therapist taught me was sour candy. I love dude, the blue Sour Patch Kids are my shit. Because same thing, it's the sour, like you eat it and then it like snaps your brain and be like, oh shit, okay. Like it kind of makes you focus, and like you can only focus, like I can sit and eat like 3 of them back to back until my tongue's raw. But I'm on my little health journey, so I'm actually going to make healthy ones, and I'm going to make a TikTok of it. But those are things that help my anxiety. There's obviously other things to pay attention to. Journal. Trust me, journaling before you go to bed to get rid of it and not carry it the next day. I think I've told you guys before, I have a guys, I can't talk with my braces, don't hate me. A worry journal. So anything the night before, like anything I'm worried about, I write everything down. I just write till my brain's empty. And then I will come up with solutions if they're in the instant. If not, why am I worrying about them? So I do that, and it's actually kind of cool because I'll look back and I'm like, damn, like that was, dude, do you know how much shit was in there about my old job? I hated Starbucks. Fuck Starbucks. Anyway, also the caffeine and food, like it all was just a mess. But yeah, like that is something that also has genuinely helped me. The last thing is be mindful of who you surround yourself with, and be mindful of what you consume. The social media, the music, the movies, it matters. What you are consuming, you are becoming. It matters what you consume. Pay attention to what you consume, because it matters. What you consume is who you become. And if you become hyper fixated on like certain things, it's just going to make your anxiety worse. So that is my biggest piece of advice with anxiety. Be mindful of what you consume, and just be mindful. Pay attention to the way things feel. Be present. Pay attention to the way things feel. Pay attention to the way things smell. Pay attention to the way things taste. Pay attention to the way things sound. That is the best thing that will help you with anxiety. Because anxiety is go, 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 go. But yeah. Like I said, I'm currently in therapy again right now. I am having these bad panic attacks because of my birth control. It is hormonal. And it's like a constant. The way that I'm describing my anxiety right now, it's still why I'm going for help, is a wave. Think of a wave, the top of it. That's how my anxiety is. I'm always at the top. I'm about to fall in, but I'm not. I'm at the top and I'm fucking drowning, but I'm at the top and I'm like about to fall in. That's why I reached out for help, because I don't feel I need help and I need to reach out. And that's kind of where we uncovered all the stuff about my friends, my relationships and work and just decision making. And it's nice to know there's a reason why. And it honestly, like, I've been a little bit more mindful of what I'm consuming, of the food, of the media, of what I'm doing with my free time. Like when I get home from work, instead of going on my phone, I've been doing my podcast, playing the guitar, coloring. I've been playing basketball. I've been painting. I want to start boxing. I want to start walking my dog again. She been limping. I just want to start doing things that are going to help me. So, anyway, thank you. I might do an anxiety part 2 at some point because, girl, but this was kind of a long one, but I love you all so, so, so much. And thank you for watching today's episode of Zoe Done at Dusk. If you need help, reach out. Genuinely, if you need help, reach out. Every job I've ever been at offers therapy. Girl, I promise you could probably find it. Therapy's wonderful. But yeah, so anyway, thank you all again for watching. I love you so, so, so much. And I'll see you next week on Zoe Done at Dusk. Bye-bye.